right, guys, welcome to Week 12 Waiver Wire. Welcome to the show. Jimmy, a.k.a. The Maverick. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, how was your weekend, counselor? Mine was pretty good.
Oh, man, I won all my leagues yet again. Crushing it, doing great, feeling good. Tank Dell going off. What a week. And in this episode, we're going to recap some studs and sucks at each position, waiver wire picks up at each position, and some latest news. Jim, I'm excited. Fantasy football is coming. It's winding down. It's coming to an end here, slowly winding down. Playoff time. Every win is crucial right now. And it's thin and trim at waiver wire, but we're going to give you guys some names anyway. And again, also going to give you that recap. So I'm excited to dive into this, Jim. How was your week?
It was pretty good. I've got a situation though tonight, critical game with my best team. I am currently up by about 43 points, and I have AJ Brown playing tonight. But my opponent has Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Rashee Rice on his roster. So, do you think I can pull off the victory? I am projected to win, but what do you think?
This gets interesting. I'm against you again. So in one league, I have Rashee Rice and Philly defense. I'm up 16, and I'm playing against A.J. Brown. So I don't need A.J. Brown scoring a lot of points.
I do need A.J. Brown to score points, and I'm pretty sure I do. And if Taylor Swift is there, I'm very worried about Travis Kelce. So I don't know. But that's my situation. I am projected to win right now, but
I think AJ Brown, I did some math, looked, because I'm playing against AJ Brown. I think his lowest game was like 10 points or something like that. He had some boom games, especially the past 3 weeks. So I'm expecting a floor of 20 points. So your 43-point lead now gets up to 63. So I think you should be good. I think you'll just make it. Again, a nice lead to go in. And who does he have? He said Rashee Rice. Who else does he have?
Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Ooh, man.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's close. It's close, but I am projected to win this game. But dang, man, he just would not go away yesterday. He wouldn't go away for a while there. He was like trailing me by like 20 projected points. And then like in quick succession, Breece Hall got a touchdown, Rachaad White got a touchdown, and Debo got this big reception. And all of a sudden he's like right back up there. We've been battling it out. Like the projection's been like this the whole day yesterday. And but I think I got this one secured. I think I can get the win out.
And in the same league for me, Cortland Sutton pulled out a touchdown near the end. I know it saved a lot of people yesterday, including myself. I needed that touchdown at the end, which gives me a nice buffer lead over A.J. Brown. 16-point lead, Rashee Rice, and Detroit in one league. So let's talk about the latest news and notes here. Is there anything in the news that we want to talk about here that really pops out, that stands out? I know Mark Andrews is done for the season. We talked about it. Joe Burrow done for the season. Is there anything else in the news and notes?
Well, as far as season-ending injuries, that's those are the big ones. Achane got hurt again, so who knows how long he's going to be out. Kenneth Walker's got that oblique injury, so he may or may not be out for a certain period of time. That could open the door for Charbonnet, who is on the list today. So hopefully you've already got him rostered, but it could be good things for Charbonnet.
Yep. All right, so let's go over the studs and sucks at each position, and at the same time also talk about the waiver wire pickups. Now, Trevor Lawrence finally back, a little too little, too late, right?
Of course, the week that I bench him because he sucked so bad last week and he goes off. Same with Ridley. Ridley also had a really good game. I only benched Ridley in one league, but still, it's just too little, too late, man. It's like, dude, where were you in week 3? You know, I mean,
absolutely.
But it was good to see that. So.
Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito's son does well. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tommy DeVito going off. And I saw a receiving touchdown by Saquon Barkley. That was a nice one there as well, playing wide receiver. So amazing stuff. Tommy DeVito, who would have thunk it, right?
I wouldn't have thunk it, and I wouldn't count on it going forward. So just chalk it up to playing the Commanders.
Josh Allen bounced back. Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Sam Howell around at the top 10. The guys that crapped the bed here, obviously, we know we talked about this. Joe Burrow being out for the season. A guy, again, I can't predict injuries, and I did recommend him in 16 rounds, but I never put him in my – some people say, well, he was in your 16 rounds. Yes, but if you watch my mock drafts, I don't recommend him. I was all about Herbert and Goff as a backup in all of my drafts pretty much. But, again, I just had this weird feeling about him because he has never been able to fully stay healthy. He always has these nagging things. Now it really caught up with him. So Joe Burrow's got that guy. I don't know. He doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. And sure enough, he's out. And what a bust. Him, Geno Smith was a bust. Zach Wilson, pretty much a bust. Kenny Pickett was a bust. I was playing against him in one of the leagues and in a 2-quarterback league. So I'm glad he crapped the bed. So yeah, it worked out pretty good for me, man, playing against him. But CJ Stroud only 15 points, but still not bad. Overall, everybody that should have done well pretty much did well, right? Am I missing anything here?
I don't think so. And the waiver wire is very thin at quarterback this year. Luckily, week 12, no teams on bye, so everybody's available. So you should have your regular guys. But if you have Joe Burrow, where do you pivot to? And the options I got here, not great. We got Jordan Love of Green Bay. He scored almost 21 points this past week. He is at Detroit next week, so that should be all right for him. Jake Browning, who is the Cincinnati backup, who's going to be playing for Joe Burrow now. They are playing Pittsburgh at home, so it's a conference game, low scoring. I don't anticipate a lot of offensive razzle-dazzle there. And then Matt Stafford is only still about 50% rostered out there. He's at Arizona last week. That's a lot better. Of the three, I'd probably go for Matt Stafford for next week, but there's just not a lot of options out there for quarterback. It's a bit of a bad year for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say in my 16 rounds. I always say, anchor your team with an ace quarterback. Make sure you get a good backup. You're good for the whole season. I've been good, knock on wood. I have, like I said, in most of my leagues, it's Herbert and Goff. In my 2-quarterback leagues, I got Goff and Jordan Love. So I've been very fortunate and been very good at the quarterback position. You always want to anchor that team so you feel really good throughout the season. And that's one less headache you got to worry about in the season. So been covered. Right. If you got 60 rounds, you should be good. Quarterback was not an issue at all. Now, again, we forgot to mention this news. Kenneth Walker, we're going to move to running backs here, studs and sucks. Walker suffered an oblique strain. I don't know what to tell you how long he's going to be out there. Don't know the exact duration, but I do have Charbonnet there. And again, we talked about this preseason. Walker has kind of shown signs of injuries in the past. Last year, tore some stuff or, had some strains here and there, I should say. And, and that's why I said Charbonnet is a good backup, a good handcuff, and he was better value than Walker. And now he's starting to really shine. And prior to this injury to this week, he was really picking it up. So Charbonnet, man, he could be a gem and a league winner moving down to the stretch here.
He is, and he's been getting more work anyway. But this past week, Charbonnet, 15 touches and 6 targets. Damn, that's outstanding. The only negative for Zach Charbonnet is they're playing San Francisco at home next week. So tough matchup, but still with that sort of volume, for me, Charbonnet would be the number one pickup, the number one waiver wire for this week, just because of the opportunity going forward. And I think he's going to continue to remain relevant even once Kenneth Walker comes back. So
let's talk about some studs here. Saquon Barkley, Jaylen Warren had a big run. He's really kind of solidified his RB1 role. He's getting the volume now, 9 attempts. Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, obviously consistent as they come here. Gus Edwards, Joe Mixon, Brian Robinson, Devin Singletary. I told you to start him again with Dameon Pierce being out. And we've got James Cook and Breece Hall. Breece Hall saving me this week as well. I had him in a league, and he was the only one that kind of produced on the Jets. Tony Pollard actually banged it. I think he got fresh.
He actually got a touchdown.
Wow.
First time since week 1 he's gotten a touchdown. That's crazy, and that is just a tremendous bust this year. Pollard huge. Not a good option this year, and it has been a tough year for just in general for most positions, but running back, another one, a lot of injuries and a lot of backups that are becoming fantasy relevant. So
crap in the bed. You, sir, are the suck of the week is Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler crap in the bed. And here's the thing. Everyone told you that Eckler would be a top pick but again, you got to understand things change. The only one that the Chiefs have really got right this year is Christian McCaffrey. And I'll give them that. But what typically goes up must come down for the most part, and Eckler's just been good for the past couple of years. New offensive coordinator. We talked about all these changes. Mind you, if we're still talking Chargers, Quentin Johnson had the big drop. I know, I understand. But in his defense, he does suck, by the way. In his defense, Eckler fumbled, right? And he sucks. And he was a first overall pick, pretty much. And Keenan Allen dropped 2 touchdowns that game. And again, this game could have not gone to that last moment had Keenan Allen caught those touchdowns. But obviously, you're in the prime, you're in the limelight there, and then it's the last play, you're down, and they could have got to field goal range, and you dropped the ball. Quentin Johnson getting a lot of heat, understandably so. He should have pulled that one in for sure.
Well, yeah, for sure. And, Austin Eckler, my big issue with Eckler was his age. He's over age 28 now. And this is when players start to decline. They become more susceptible to injury and all that. So that's why I just completely stayed away from these old guys. Aaron Jones, another one that has just really, really struggled this year. Again, dude's like 30. I think he's 29 or 30.
Yeah.
Again, Mother Nature comes for all these guys. This is a young man's game. And once you kind of hit that 28-year-old threshold, your chances of staying relevant decrease substantially. There's exceptions, right? Mostert is a great example of someone who's still performing very, very well despite his age. But for the most part, man, it's a hard game and it's a lot of wear and tear, and those buys just can't hold up. And so that's why you want to stay away from these older guys.
Absolutely. Is there anyone to pick up now at all, like at this point in the game?
Yeah. There's there are a couple of names here you can look at. Royce Freeman of the LA Rams got 17 touches this past week. They are at Arizona, so again, good matchup. So he's one that would definitely be worth picking up. AJ Dillon,
right,
with the injury to Aaron Jones, 14 touches, 4 targets. They are at Detroit next week, so that's a good option to pick up. Miles Sanders got 11 touches and 1 target. They are at Tennessee. And Chuba Hubbard, I guess they kind of split time because Chuba got 10 touches and 2 targets. Both these guys are on Carolina. They're both kind of below my threshold of what I like to start a player with, but I think they're both worth picking up and rostering for right now. They're at Tennessee next week. So again, pretty good matchups. Everyone outside of Charbonnet has a good matchup next week. So those are some names for you.
Chuba. Chuba's getting something done finally. Barely anyway. But yeah, I mean, running backs, my guys did well. I had a couple guys on bye. Jahmyr Gibbs stepped up. David Montgomery got his share of workload as well near the goal line. And that was kind of a revenge game for David Montgomery to the Bears, Lions. And that's actually an exciting offense to watch. Not because I'm invested in fantasy. Well, that's a big part of it. But they're actually an exciting offense to watch. Jared Goff got off to a bad start in that game. He had 3 interceptions, I think, on the game. Came back, had a touchdown here and there. And bounced back, really. It was a good game, man. Did you watch that game, Lions?
I did. Yeah, it was. I like the Lions offense. I like that team. I think they're really, really strong. They're currently the number 2 seed in the NFC, and deservedly so. They're a really good team. Can they get past San Francisco? Can they get past Philadelphia? I don't think they can, but they should be able to make a pretty deep playoff run. I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 rounds in. So
never thought I'd say this. I'm excited to watch the Lions this year. It is what it is,
Yeah. Hey, they might win on Thanksgiving finally, Yeah. That hasn't happened in a while either.
Overdue. All right, let's move on to the wide receivers here. Let's go through it. Oh, man, Calvin Ridley going off. Again, too little, too late. Why weren't you using Calvin Ridley like week 1? It blows my mind. It shows you the talent. Why aren't we throwing 9 targets, 7 receptions, 2 touchdowns? Calvin Ridley absolutely going off. I mean, Jim, it blows my mind. I mean, this shows the ceiling that we were talking about, the potential that we were talking about, but we didn't see it, man. We just didn't see it all year. Shame.
Yeah, way too inconsistent. His usage is just all over the place. Like last week, he only got 2 targets. It's like that is the worst kind of fantasy player to try to play because you never know when you're going to want to start him and when you bench him. And like I said, I started him last week, and this week I benched him in one of my leagues, and I regret that. But again, what were we running off of? Last week he got 1 catch for 15 yards or something pathetic like that. So. Yeah, it's just you can't trust Ridley and what he's going to do on a week-to-week basis on that team.
No, not at all. And you remember that old movie Forrest Gump? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Fantasy football is like a box of chocolates sometimes. And Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence, you never know what you're going to get. Those guys, both of these guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about those two, man. They're just up and down. Tyreek Hill, good game. He was banged up a little bit, I guess. Did he come back to the game?
He did come back, yeah.
Yeah, Tank
So
Dell, amazing. A guy that was ranked 108th. We told you to draft Tank Dell. He's doing really well. Keenan Allen dropped a couple balls, still ended up getting 27 points, man. The volume went that way.
yeah, he got like 14 targets, some insane, like the most targeted player I think this past week was Keenan Allen.
16 targets, 10 receptions.
16, yeah. Yeah, there
That's
you go.
wild. Again, that's kind of a bad thing in a sense because again, they should just be keying in on him, block him, everyone else, and then they're throwing to that guy named Smart Stone or Stone Smart. I mean, they really hate Quentin Johnson. You know, I mean, he had that one drop, but you're not really giving him the volume. He's not getting warmed up. You throw him one when the game matters and he drops it, so it just looks really bad for the guy. It's just what a shame, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen for him. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about two Chargers receiver players. Neither one of them is Quentin Johnson, but these guys are getting the volume. So you got to go that way. But yeah.
Other guys did well. Ayuk, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams had a touchdown. Khalil Shakur did well from Buffalo. Wow, that's 4 targets, 3 receptions. He did get that touchdown. And DK Metcalf. Now, Jim,
Khalil, for Khalil, it's still too little volume to want to trust to start that guy. You can't trust that he's going to be there because it's just not enough volume. So even I don't even think I would roster him just because of that. That sort of a situation.
Okay,
like Mims. Like Mims is the same way,
Guys that crap the bed. Listen to this, okay? Debo Samuel, 9 points. Jamar Chase, 9.2 points. Terry McLaurin, 9.3. Some big names here. Jordan Addison, only 7.4. Amari Cooper, 7.4. Brandon Cooks coming off a big week, 7.2 points. Jackson Smith, 7 points. Stephon Diggs, 6.7 points. I mean, these are some massive names just not performing. What are you going to do? I mean, you start Diggs, he's like a first-round pick. What are you going to do, Jim? What are you going to do? You got to start
right. Him. I mean, the volume is there for Diggs, but yeah, it's just a week of low production. It happens to these players. I wouldn't worry about it at all as far as he's concerned. But
how about Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp, 2.1 points. Am I correct here? He did that bad. 2.1. I got to go that
he was out. He was out for most of the game with an injury. So yeah.
Well, what's new? There's your precious golden boy. Everybody told you to draft Cooper Kupp. What I tell you? How is Justin Jefferson this week? Is 0, a donut. There you have it. So
he's not playing yet. So yeah.
Again, so if I told you at the beginning of the year, draft Tank Dell and don't draft Justin Jefferson, you'd be like, you are nuts. Put that guy in a straitjacket. You're nuts. Well, what did we tell you? We told you avoid Jefferson, try to secure a running back early, and get Tank Dell later. And what happened? Now are we crazy? And people keep harping on me with Bijan. I understand he did well, and Tank Bigsby, but he was more of a deeper guy, and Quentin Johnson and Dameon Pierce. Those are kind of the 4 that they really come after me at. Dameon Pierce was primed to be the workhorse running back. That failed. I'll take ownership on it. It is what it is.
Yeah, he's just injured. He's not playing. So, what are you going to do? You can't do anything about that.
Quentin Johnson, that's okay. I faded him. I got other people in round 3. It is what it is. And you know what? Tank Bigsby, it is what it is. And again, ATN's had a couple bad weeks, including this past week, didn't do the greatest either. So it is what it is, guys. It's fantasy. I had 4. We're never going to get 100% right, but we're going to be more right than wrong, and that's the main thing. And, how's Dobbins doing? I keep telling people, how's Dobbins doing? How's Mike Williams doing? How's Dalvin Cook doing? How's Cooper Kupp doing? How's Justin Jefferson doing? How's Joe Burrow doing? A lot of people drafted him, as their RB quarterback one. We kind of warned against that. There's so many situations where we warned you, and they always harp on the ones that are wrong. That's okay. I love it. I enjoy it. Bring me the noise. I love it. Let's move on.
So just a quick question for you. So Tank Dell, looking ahead to next year, where do you think he's going to go on the draft? What round do you think he's going to go on the draft?
Depending on how he finishes, if he continues to finish strong, man, I would say second round he's coming off, this guy. And that's the thing that pisses me off. I liked it when the sheep were sleeping. I liked it when I was getting them with my last pick in all my drafts, and now they're going to be riding them. Like they knew the whole, but the thing is, it's like they act like they knew the whole time. Oh, Tank Dell's doing amazing. He's doing great. You didn't know. You had no idea who Tank Dell was prior to the season. You weren't recommending him because I saw all the magazines. He wasn't even in magazines. He was ranked 108th amongst wide receivers. And now you love him like you're acting like you knew the whole time. That's what pisses me off. Is there anything else? Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Well, let's talk about the pickups here for wide receivers. So we've got again, it's very thin this week. I'm like, I was having a tough time finding players, but Robert Woods of Houston got 8 targets this past week. They are playing Jacksonville, so he's definitely worth a pickup. Greg Dortch, who was actually very surprising to see him on this list, getting 8 targets this past week. They are playing the Rams at home. That's Arizona, by the way. Elijah Moore of Cleveland got 7 targets. They are at Denver this week. Trey Tucker of Las Vegas got 7 targets. They are playing Kansas City at home. OBJ, good old OBJ, got 7 targets this past week. And, with the injury to Mark Andrews, that's actually really good for all the other receivers for their volume. And hopefully Zay Flowers will bounce back too. We'll start getting some more volume. But they are at the Chargers. So that's a great, good. Trey Palmer of Tampa Bay got 6 targets. JSN got 6 targets. Those guys are a little bit below my threshold, but definitely worth putting on your roster for right now. Just put them on your bench. So
yeah, Odell Beckham making a little bit of a run, 15.6 points. Let's move on to the tight end position. Kittle had a good game. Josh Oliver from Minnesota had himself a good game. David Njoku, Stone Smart. Who? What? He got his first touchdown, and that's what I mean. Like, give the volume to Quentin. Don't just give him the game-winning pass. Now, he drops it. It's just Stone Smart. Like, that's how desperate they are that they don't want to throw to Quentin Johnson. Stone Smart, 3 targets and a touchdown. Stone Smart. I don't. Oh man, tight end. That's all.
But how much volume did he actually get? Was it just like
targets. 3 targets?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Those players intentionally do get their touchdowns. I wouldn't worry about it at all. That's nothing. 3 targets is nothing. So
anyway, Dalton Schultz, Dalton Kincaid, Luke Schoonmaker from Dallas. Farham got 6 targets. Again, Donald Farham. That's how much they hate Quentin Johnson. It is what it is. Quentin Johnson is just a write-off this year. TJ Hawkinson, Trey McBride, rounding out the top 10. Mark Andrews out for the season. Cole Kmet only 5 points. Tyler Higbee 2.7. He's been sucking all year. And we still got Travis Kelce to go tonight. Laporta only 6.8 points, 5 targets, 3 receptions. Laporta didn't have a good game either, but I mean,
it happens. He's been fine though. He's been good, So speaking of pickups, for tight ends, David Parham is on the list with his 6 targets. They are playing Baltimore though. That's a really tough matchup. So I'm not really would not be thrilled about starting him, but Logan Thomas still available in about 50% of leagues, got 8 targets this past week. They are at Dallas next week. They're going to be throwing the ball like crazy against them, so he should continue to do well. And Luke Musgrave of Green Bay also got 6 targets. They are at Detroit. So those were the best names I could find on the waiver wire for you to pick up there.
All right, moving on to defense. Which defenses are we recommending for streaming this week?
Well, I got to say, man, start anybody who's playing the New York Jets. And this week it's Miami that's playing the New York Jets. So I would definitely start them. New England is playing the Giants. They are at the Giants. So I'd go ahead and play that as well. And Minnesota is playing Chicago at home. So again, I think all 3 of those options are great if you're streaming your defense.
That's it, man. There you have it. Waiver Wire Week 12. Latest news and notes here, guys. Again, stay sharp. Drop your questions below for this upcoming week if you have any or any waiver wire questions. We'll try to get to as many as we humanly possibly can. And, Jim, what a wild week yet again. But a lot of guys just very disappointing. Guys like Cooper Kupp, right? It is.
Oh, yeah. So everybody's just trying to make the playoffs right now. And it's only a couple more weeks of 3 more weeks, 12, 13, 14 are the last 3 weeks of the season. So just continue to get your team to progress to the playoffs. Keep improving your team no matter what. And, by the way, this week, because it is Thanksgiving, we got 3 games on Thanksgiving, 1 game on Black Friday, and then the Sunday and the Monday game. So anyway, be aware of that as well. So have your lineups set in time.
All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, and we are out. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll talk soon. We're out, Jim.
Good luck in week 12.